Thesis statements. In this lesson, you will learn the purpose of thesis statements. You will learn how to write an effective thesis statement for your argumentative essay. But first, what is a thesis? A thesis is a central claim or an overarching idea, belief that's reiterated through your writing. It's the main claim that you keep coming back to as you make your arguments. Just as narrative works have themes that guide the writing and bring everything together, a thesis statement brings everything together. It's that underlying thread throughout your essay. Thesis statements provide focus for your writing, and it helps your readers understand where you're going with your arguments. Thesis statements provide focus for your writing. So here's an example argumentative prompt. Should schools have dress codes? Before you even begin to write a thesis, you need to make sure that you understand your position on the matter. And the way to do that is to brainstorm. What are the reasons why you think schools should have dress codes? What are the reasons that schools should not have dress codes? When you can truly weigh the pros and cons, you can make an informed decision and begin to craft an effective thesis. So here's an example of a brainstorm that you might do. You might have 2 columns, you might fold a paper in half, whatever it is, but some system for understanding the issue in a well-rounded way. You don't want to just consider one perspective. You want to consider at least 2 perspectives on the issue, because later you will have to refute a counterclaim once you've acknowledged that opposing perspective. So here are the reasons for should. Peer pressure as a result of appearance decreases. This seems like a pretty valid reason. Often in school settings, students, peers, they're concerned with fitting in. And when there's so much focus on the way someone looks and who has the latest who's wearing the latest Nikes or Adidas, that could cause peer pressure to want to look a certain way. Another reason might be students may wear gang-affiliated clothes, causing conflict. If you are representing a gang, whether intentionally or not, that could pose as a threat to other students who are maybe in a rival gang, for example. And of course, all of this would be developed throughout a body paragraph, but these are just some initial thoughts. Another reason is students may wear too revealing or other offensive clothing that is distracting to other students. And the reasons for why schools should not have dress codes. Well, someone might say that it promotes individuality, that the clothes that students choose is a form of self-expression. Someone might say that it causes students to feel more comfortable at school. And when students are more comfortable, they can retain more information, perhaps. Or that it's fair. If teachers can dress how they want, students should be able to do the same. So, we have at least 3 reasons for why schools should have dress codes and 3 reasons for why they shouldn't. And it's up to you, once you've gone through a brainstorming list like this one, to determine which side has the most compelling or convincing claims that you would feel confident in developing in body paragraphs. Ready to see which one I think has the stronger claims? Schools should have dress codes. This thesis directly responds to the prompt or the question, should schools have dress codes? And while that's a great start, we can't leave this thesis in this condition. It's too bare bones to leave this way. An effective thesis is going to bring in subtopics that will later be developed in the body paragraphs of the essay that will support the thesis. Schools should have dress codes because peer pressure based on appearance decreases. Some students may wear gang-affiliated clothes causing conflict, or students may wear clothes that are too revealing and distracting to others. This is a much stronger thesis because readers truly have some guidance. It's not enough to just say schools should have dress codes, because that's a dead end. Well, why do you feel that way? Readers need to get a sense of your logic and reasoning early on in your essay. Try to eliminate as much guesswork as possible. And although this thesis statement is a step up from the last one, we're still not there yet. Because in any good argument, you are going to acknowledge the opposing perspective. And it starts as early as the thesis. And while you'll refute that opposing perspective, you'll refute that counterclaim later in your body paragraph or paragraphs. Your reader needs to have some kind of idea that you're knowledgeable about your topic. And the way that you show your knowledge and your credibility is by acknowledging other perspectives. Although some people believe students should express their individuality by wearing whatever they want at school, schools should have dress codes because peer pressure as a result of appearance decreases. Some students may wear gang-affiliated clothing that will likely result in conflict, and students can focus on their studies rather than be distracted by revealing or inappropriate clothing. This thesis is much better. It's comprehensive. There are 3 key components to this thesis. At its core, this thesis directly addresses the prompt. But it goes further. Readers are given an introduction to the subtopics of the essay, of the argument. And the opposing perspective is also acknowledged, which is the text you see in burgundy. So let's recap. How do you craft an effective thesis? Well, brainstorm, make sure you understand your true feelings on the topic, and directly address the prompt. Step 1. Step 2, incorporate subtopics, which will serve as supporting ideas for your thesis. Remember, your thesis is a roadmap that you'll keep referring back to throughout your essay, and it serves as a guide for your readers. Step 3, acknowledge an opposing perspective, which you will later refute in the body of your essay. Now, I understand that you might be saying, whoa, that's a lot to include in one sentence. And how can I even begin to bring in that language about the opposing perspective? Well, here are some sentence frames to help you do that. You might choose to jot down 1 or 2 or all of these frames and experiment with the one that you think sounds best for your thesis. Or you may not even use any of these frames, but here are some ideas to get you thinking about acknowledging the opposing perspective. Although, despite the belief that, while some people believe, certainly some feel, however, all of these frames show contrast, that your position is different than the counterclaim. If you have any questions, do ask, do email me. Come to Homework Center. I'm here to support you. I want you to have effective thesis statements. I don't want to read in this essay I will talk about or my paper is about, right? So hopefully this was a great resource for you. Feel free to replay it and take notes, and good luck.